President Donald Trump is now second-guessing his decision to appoint the current Attorney General Jeff Sessions. He says he would have made decisions differently if he had known Sessions would recuse himself from the Russia investigation. That is one of the stories we are following internationally. And Zinzi Kibiku is here to take us through some of the other stories making world headlines. Zinzi, good morning. What's happening in the world press?
All right, good morning, Ben.
Right?
Thank you. So that's actually one of the top stories, the issue of Donald Trump.
Yes.
It's everywhere. BBC is carrying it, of course, at the very top. We'll also take a look at Al Jazeera. The Mail Guardian in South Africa, I'll let you know what else is also happening there, and the New Times. But first of all, BBC.
Right.
It's the story of Donald Trump's son-in-law. This entire cloud over Donald Trump with the allegations of Russia meddling into the election is now hovering to his son-in-law. Now, of course, Congress is set to meet and, of course, decide the way forward in terms of the allegations that the son-in-law as well as his campaign manager were involved in the Russian meddling of the November 2016 election, and it's suspected that they've been having links with the Russian officials. This also brought up more conversation with what is it that President Donald Trump and President of Russia Vladimir Putin were discussing during the G20 summit. When Donald Trump was interviewed, he said, for about 15 minutes, Vladimir Putin and I were having dinner at the G20 summit. We had a discussion of 15 minutes, and it was really just pleasantries. So this cloud that is hovering on over the Trump's family and administration, this specific one of the Russian meddling into the U.S. election, seems to not be going away.
And the son-in-law's involvement is not making things any easier.
No, it's not. It's not, despite the fact that Trump has denied it. The Russian government has also denied meddling into this specific election. Still, investigations are being carried out. Congress also wants answers. All right. So that's just BBC running with that specific story. Al Jazeera is also running with a story on Donald Trump. However, this time around, it's something completely different. Donald Trump's admin wants to put a stop, or rather to halt, the CIA's support program. So over the years, to be more specific, since 2013, when then President Barack Obama decided to have a program with the CIA and that would train as well as equip rebel groups that were then fighting Syrian government, Vladimir Putin, Syrian President Bashar at that specific time. Now, this specific program, like I told you, was set back in 2013 under then President Barack Obama. But now, Trump's administration wants to put a pause on that, a halt on that. It will be very interesting to see where that will go and where really U.S. is standing in regards to this war with the Syrian government. All right.
What else do we have?
All right. Let's head over now to South Africa. Mail and Guardian is where we're gonna. It's gonna take us there. The Home Affairs Minister has been accused of hiding behind questionable provision law, refusing to amend a section on the same-sex marriage. On the African continent, South Africa is one of the few countries that has allowed same-sex marriage within the country. But the specific law within that specific act that is a bit unquestionable, and the Home Affairs refuses, or rather doesn't show of any sort of urgency to sort of improve it or correct it, and something that the groups in South Africa, right groups, are also calling for it to be amended.
What's that provision?
That specific provision within the same-sex law, it's in regards to marrying. Can certain religious groups allow or rather officiate same-sex marriages? It's something that is also a bit murky in the issue that there are only about 131, if I remember correctly, people who are allowed to officiate same-sex marriage in South Africa. Right.
All right.
So away from South Africa, now let's come over to Rwanda. August doesn't look like the only month that Kenya will be having elections. We know Rwanda. Yes, on 4th of August. So for there, it's just a campaign trail that is happening. We've seen none other than the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, going up and about during his campaign trail, and the Rwanda Patriotic Front also making sure that they are everywhere. Now, yesterday, he said that there's something that he's been echoing a lot, especially in yesterday's rally, is that if he's re-elected yet again, he will make sure that young people continue to have the opportunities and create more opportunities, rather, that will favor young people. So for them also, just like here in Kenya, it's a campaign trail. Kagame is on the road.
Many people say in Rwanda that it is just a formality that Kagame is going to
it's just a formality. We'll see come August 4th what the Rwandese decide to choose on the way forward. So that's where we're going to close off World Press with Rwanda.
All right, thank you so much. So of course you'll be following those stories for us.
Definitely.
Keep Kenyans informed on what's happening. Thank you, Zinzi. Zinzi Kibiku with World Press.